We got a podcast in the metaverse, bro.
Yeah. Who knew that this is what it was all building up to through the entire first season? And now we are here kicking off season 2 with all of you guys, a live studio audience.
Let's go. Every Tuesday.
A podcast. We didn't even know what was happening. We were 15 episodes into this.
It seems to be helping and impacting a lot of people. We'll see you every Tuesday on the Metaverse podcast. Peace.
I don't know why I chuck deuces. Like I don't chuck deuces. What was that?
What I do, I chunk the deuces. That's what I do. What's happening, everybody? Welcome in. We are live for another episode of the Metaverse. Dreams. That's the question. Dreams. I hope everybody is well. I know people are going to be coming in just a second. I think, there we go. Sensei Jay is in the building. What's happening, brother? Hope you are well. And look at there. It's Elma Jean. Salutations to one. The lady with the plan. That's who she is. The mama with no drama. I am well. In fact, I'm really excited about today's episode and what we're talking about today. I'm super excited because there's a verse that says, "Hope deferred makes the heart sick." Hope deferred makes the heart sick. In other words, there's some things that you long for, and if that doesn't happen, then it makes you miserable. It makes the heart sick. You know, there's a heaviness. And so things that we hope for typically are things that we like to say we put our faith in, or things that we dream about. So dreams. What are your dreams? What are the things that you just long to do? In fact, I'm going to show y'all something right quick. Just 1 second. I have here. Sorry. Ouch. Poked myself. So, this right here is, my wife is calling as well as I'm screaming. Hey, darling. Uh-oh. Hey. All right, hey. So this right here, Mama Bray, these are, I have 5 arrows. Actually, on my desk, I keep them. I keep these. It's not just 5. It is 8 arrows. I got 8 arrows, and I love these. These mean a lot. I'm not an archer. I don't. But there's this story, this instance that happened where this king ran up on Elisha and was afraid because his army was being overrun. And so Elisha said to him, like, dude, he took an arrow and he said, man, the victory of the Lord, shoot the arrow out the window. And so he shot an arrow out the window and he said, now strike the ground. And he struck the ground, 3 times. And then Elisha got upset with him. He's like, dude, if you would have struck the ground 5 or 6 times, that's how many victories you would have had. And so your victories are basically based off the things that you desire to happen will come true based off the amount of arrows, times you would have struck the ground with the arrows. And I realized when it comes to life, I don't strike the ground super hard. It's like I might do it lightly. And so sometimes I would dream or hurt hope gets deferred simply because we don't put a lot of effort. We kind of we halfway do things, or we will go to a certain point and then stop, or we might talk about it, but don't do much. So I want to send a shout out to Brother Stern. How are you? Salutations, man, to you as well, my friend. So the question is, like, man, do you have dreams, desires that you kind of put on the back burner? I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear it in the chat. Like, do you have some kind of things that you hope for, you desire, that you kind of put in the back burner? I look at the soapstone, and I look at things that Aaron and I have talked about it. What up? Pastor Tucker's in the building. Man, are there things that you've, what's up, Jackie? What it do? Jackie, what's happening? Pastor Tuck. Also, if you ever want to perform at the comedy club, let me know, Jason. Stern, I do. I want to. I'm letting you know right now, brother. So let's work it out. Dude, my life the last few weeks have been extremely busy. So just shoot me an email, Stern, or shoot me a text message if you haven't. And then I'm gonna shoot you the name to a name to my administrator. That way she can put it on calendar. So your dreams. Your dream is represented by an arrow. What are your arrows? There are things that, like, there's some ideas that I have that, how can I describe it? An idea that I have that I kind of just let go. And one of those ideas, man, I want to show y'all something. We're going to take a field trip today. Let's go. We're taking a field trip. And I have to say, so when I became the lead guy here at North Garland Baptist Fellowship, there were some things, some ideas that I had. There were some things that I wanted to do that I knew they were amazing ideas, things that I was passionate about. But there was one particular idea that would be a significant investment, very significant investment. So what I did was I saw some land. We have some land beside our property. And I figured, man, wouldn't it be nice if we created an LLC and we create a coffee spot, because there's not a lot of coffee houses around here in probably like a 5-mile radius. What if we purchased some of this land and we did a coffee house? Well, you saw the hoop. Thanks, bro. So, man, what I did was I said, man, we should buy some of this property, and all this traffic that passes by our building. Let me see. Here you have, that's you can't say it. Major outlet right here, George Bush, and then you have this street right here, which is North Garland Avenue. There's a whole lot of traffic, right? Man, so I said, let's buy some of this property and build a coffee house, like a Starbucks. But I just didn't push the issue because I was the new leader, and like, especially for a non-profit, not the wise thing to do. So, what do you say, Lolly? I feel like I got what I was willing to work towards. Just dreaming didn't do it. That's right. Yeah, I'm not saying dream and sit back and don't happen. I love what Martin Luther King says. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. says, Having faith that God's going to do something while you sit back and do nothing is not faith. That's superstition. So, and there's a verse in Ecclesiastes 5, 5 that says, dream comes through much effort. So there's a lot of work that you got to put into your dreams coming to pass. Nevertheless, I had this idea, and I just didn't push it, of a coffee house beside our church building. And I just sat on it. I would talk about it, but wouldn't do anything about it. And then probably about 8 or 9 months after talking about it, I got a letter in the mail saying, hey, you have a water main on your property, and there's all this vacant land beside you all. We've purchased the land, and we want to tap into your water main because we're going to build, guess what? Right there. That's a Starbucks. Starbucks right beside us. Something that I had the idea to do 2 years prior. If only I would have struck the ground 5 or 6 times. Now, that could be very discouraging. It could be very discouraging, but I mean, God is sovereign. If He really wanted me and us to build a coffee house, then nothing would have been able to stop it. That's just so. But so, what's the lesson there? What is the lesson? I had this idea, man, and my idea was affirmed by a Fortune 500 company saying, "Yep, that is a good idea." We concur. Matter of fact, we can do a lot with that land, that idea that you had. And so they did it. One thing that it does, when dreams don't hit or come to pass like we desire, or our hope is deferred, there's a lot of lessons in failure. There's a lot of great lessons that we get when we fail, or when things don't happen the way that we do. So what does that Starbucks say to me? Keep thinking, keep dreaming. Other thing it says to me, when you keep thinking and keep dreaming, you actually got to do something about it. You got to strike the ground 5 or 6 times. That's what you got to do. You can't just, it's not enough to dream. It's not enough to talk, but you got to put forth some effort. You got to put a plan together. And after you put a plan together, you got to put some execution together. And sometimes we don't execute well because some of us are more visionaries than executors. And so if you're always coming up with ideas and you're never doing anything, you probably need some other people on your team. You probably need, there's a book called Rocket Fuel. It talks about how you have a visionary and you have integrators. Visionaries and integrators. A visionary is always dreaming and getting stuff done, to do stuff. I mean, dreaming to get stuff done. But then an integrator doesn't dream much, but knows how to implement and create strategies around great ideas. And so you got to have those people around you who do those things. So yeah, so dream on. I asked what some of y'all dreams were. To be a hooper. I wish I was a baller. So one thing that I do to help me dream is I gotta have little fun snacks or just things that keep me active. So that's why I have that basketball hoop in my office. Where is it? And so in my office, I don't do have basketball hoops, but I have balls. And so they mean like that. But so when I'm thinking, or I have a meeting, or I'm deep in work, what I do, I just come here and let's go. Well, that didn't work. Let's come here. And this helps me reset. Things like this help me keep dreaming. You got to have fun. You got to be childlike. And if you're childlike, you get to see the kingdom in a whole nother way. So, and sometimes kids come in here, even grown people come, businessmen will come in here and talk serious. And when they want to talk serious in a meeting, I say, great, let's talk. Here's the ball. And I give them the ball. And it becomes basketball therapy. Yes, Sensei Jay. And if I get really stressed, I start dunking. So, yes. So, thanks, Lewis Tucker. That's one of my good buddies who I haven't talked to in a while because the brother just been busy. So, that's my life. That's how I dream. And for that, I say, let's bring Lolly D to the stage. Hello.
Good morning. How you doing? It's good to see you.
Good to see you. How are you?
Good. You know, I'm taking exactly what you say to heart, and it's so true. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. I dream of having my college days body back. I dream about it a lot.
Yeah.
I realized that there's a whole big secret that nobody knows. Let me tell you what it is. If you exercise more than you eat, you will lose weight. Did you know that, Jason?
Yeah, I know it.
I've heard it, but apparently, so we can dream about that all we want. But if we're not willing to do the work, which will absolutely make it come true, by the way, 100%. There's that. So I hear you, even if the work is that it sort of flows for you, which is what Aaron keeps saying. Some things should be easy. I agree with that too. It should, as you're working, things should be falling into place for you. If everything's a block wall, like you said, you fall a few times. I mean, I don't know how many times we need to fall before we finally say, maybe that isn't our dream. I don't know. That too. But you're so right. You got to keep at it. You got to keep working at it to make it come true.
Yeah, sure. Man. It's funny. I look at the early conversations that Aaron and I were having before the soapstone was the soapstone. And just what he wanted to be, and I've seen the work that he's put in, and it's it's superseded what he thought what he dreamed about. You
mean he didn't just sit back and that just all fell on top of him? That's what I thought. No.
Listen, I know some people who at the same time set out to do the same thing that Aaron did, and I've heard them in conversations be frustrated that Aaron's thing took off and theirs didn't. And it was like, you got to do the work, man. You got to have infrastructure. It's not just about work, which is important. Infrastructure is majorly important.
And as those things are coming at you, you have to have the skills to handle that thing. And he does, we were like, oh my gosh, we're at a crossroads and he handles it. We're at a crossroads and he handles it. So yeah, you're right. He's working it all the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Speaking of working all the time in the evening and the morning. So what's going on with Good Morning Soapstone?
Oh yeah. We're getting excited because, in case you haven't heard, we're moving to Honolulu Bay.
Yeah.
Super exciting for me. And I'm going to be having my Good Morning Soapstone there, which is changing time, by the way. It's going to go from 1:30 p.m. in the afternoon, which I've heard for 2 years about why you call Good Morning Soapstone. It's in the afternoon. So it's going to actually move to 11 a.m. Eastern, which is great. So I'm excited about that. So that's going to happen in the new build. And this week I have one of the builders that I've been chasing for a long time named Rexrod, which I'm very excited about. He's one of those people that seems to be on the cutting edge of building all the time, but he's elusive. So I was able to nail him down. Maybe he'll show up.
Yeah.
So that's happening. But, we're all about the launch party right now. That's what we're talking about, getting to Honolulu Bay next week and having our big launch party. And that's what we've been buzzing about. So
that's great. What's funny is, like, man, I've been thinking more about that. So we opened it on my birthday.
Yeah.
And what's weird is, like, I think more about the new Soapstone location than I do my birthday.
That would be great. That would be awesome. We
Yeah.
would love that. That would be super great.
Yeah,
But
so cool.
yeah, right now I know, I don't know all the plans, but I do know that we plan to have some ambassadors hanging out to welcome people in and show them around because it is quite extensive, the things that are happening there. So I think being able to find a team member to be able to explain some things to everybody will be helpful. So we're planning on doing that. So it should be a great time. Excited. And you being there would just, boy, that would be awesome.
Let's go.
It? Do you mean
Hey,
it?
So Sturm, do you watch basketball any? Do you watch basketball? She's frozen. So that's a no, I'm assuming.
What is he saying? He's saying what?
No, do you watch basketball? Sturm said, I got it. Sturm said on the subject of basketball, LeBron or Michael Jordan, who's the GOAT?
Well,
Lolly has nothing to say about that.
Lolly's not a basketball fan. I watch it occasionally, but more baseball family over here.
Sensei J says Michael Jordan. I have a case. In the Michael Jordan era, I was more of a Magic Johnson fan than a Michael Jordan fan. But I was a heavy. I really like. How do you not like Mike? So I enjoyed Michael. During the Kobe era, I was not a Kobe fan. I appreciated Kobe's work, but I just wasn't that much of a Kobe fan. When LeBron came on the scene, I still wasn't, I was following, but I wasn't a LeBron fan either. Yeah, Dream Team, Magic. Magic was my guy. I love Magic Johnson.
So when he says Bird, does he mean Larry Bird?
Yes, Larry Bird.
I remember.
Yeah. So Sturm, and so here's what I say. Michael Jordan, at the time that he played, nobody could do what he was doing. And dude was with Scottie Pippen. They two were an unstoppable force. But the thing about Michael Jordan as well, that I'll say the difference in, Michael Jordan and LeBron were two different players. LeBron could play every single position. LeBron literally can play every single position and play it well. Michael Jordan, his sweet spot was shooting guard, point guard. That was his strength. So the other thing about Michael Jordan was that he did that nobody else did. He had his name and his image copyrighted. So you could only copyright things, you could only print things that he gave permission to. So a lot of things that are in print that we see about Michael Jordan isn't necessarily objective, it's more subjective. So the claim that Michael Jordan is the true GOAT based off of everything that you see, you're missing some stuff. For instance, the infamous play where John Stockton dunked on Michael Jordan, Horace Grant, and I forgot who the other person was. You won't see a picture. What's up, Bernice? How you doing? You won't see that picture. When you see that picture now, they've edited Michael Jordan out. So what would make Michael Jordan look bad, he had edited out so they can't use it, which makes any argument about Michael Jordan invalid.
Yeah, but to be fair, people take one thing and then they blow it up so big and it's repeated and repeated and repeated. So it looks like always. And so I don't blame him for trying to control his image a little bit. He does a lot. He does a lot of good.
And he did. So, and nobody's had an impact on the game like Michael Jordan, other than maybe Kareem. And I think it's disrespectful to have a GOAT conversation and don't mention Kareem, who has the most games. But at the same time, even though, I would say I would make the argument that LeBron is the greatest basketball player of all times.
I'm surprised you don't have any arguments here. Nobody's arguing with you.
This is nobody. And all of it, you know.
Well, I'll just say if I know their names, then they are really, really famous because they pass the sport out to us nobody people going, I've heard that name 5 million times. So yeah.
So good.
Mm-hmm.
So good. That's awesome. Well, next week we will have our guy back.
Yeah, he will be back. I'm sure he'll give us a little bit about his trip. That'll be interesting. There were some interesting things about his trip.
Absolutely. You know, he almost showed up today, but he could not.
Yeah, I'm sure he's a little bit busy from being gone for a few days.
Good.
Yeah, I'll wait and let him tell the story about his how his trip was influenced. It's interesting. It's an interesting story. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we'll talk about that next week.
No doubt. I wonder if he tried. Hey, you'll be able to ask him if he tried the fish and chips. Nevertheless, keep dreaming, everybody. Keep working towards your dream. And keep hope alive. Not even in the political sense, from the Rainbow Coalition. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you haven't. Hit the bell as well. Please do. And that helps us pay for the bills. Not really. We don't.
Not really.
This helps us pay for nothing. We don't get anything.
Makes us feel better.
Yeah. Goodbye, everybody. Have an amazing, amazing Tuesday. And the rest of the week.
And we'll see you next week with some new info. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Woo woo.